So, why am I making a mess around these trees? Well, I walked over here and right at the trunk there, I took a picture, not a video. Saw the top of a tombstone poking out. And it looks like around this tree's has become like a garbage pile for old flowers and things. So in that pile there's some like things, grave decorations and stuff, so they just throw them in the pile along with some metal braces and stuff. This tree was growing up. I cut that tree down. It's over there. And then I got the tombstone out and carried it over here, put it on my tailgate. So this is the back side. So I'm gonna clean that up and then I'll flip it over, then we'll see who it belongs to. Okay, I totally haven't cleaned it off. What I did, it was muddy. I scrubbed it, and then it's easier to read what it says when there's like dirt on it, because the dirt goes down into the thing. So it looks like it says Daisie Bell Etter, born and died. Oh, she's sad. She was she's either stillborn or died the same day. Daughter of C.H. and M.A. Etter. And it looks like the whoever made the headstone was H.N. Theron Morrison. So yeah, once again I found that pretty much buried over there. I looked at the cemetery records, and actually some ancestors of mine own, I think this plot right here is Fellows. And then I looked at the map and Etter is in here. So I poked all around, tried to find a base to this tombstone there. I couldn't find it. So I need to, there's Emery over there. So I need to look at the map and then see exactly where about it is. I'll have to make a base for it, and then I'll put it back up in here where it belongs. So okay, so I'm back home now. I went over to prop the tombstone back up in its base. However, today it's 50 degrees and 30-mile-per-hour winds, so my video would not turn out very good, so I just took some pictures. So anyhow, the first picture you see is obviously the tombstone up against the tree, partially buried. And then this picture here is what it looked like after I dug it out. I had to cut down some brush and dig up some weeds and to get to it. I wasn't sure how big it was. Also, I went to dig around in there too to see if there was any other tombstones that I could find that possibly were buried, because I have found buried tombstones all over the cemetery. So the next picture is it leaning up against the tree, obviously, and nearly impossible to read. The next picture here is after I have it on the tailgate. I'm starting to clean it. At this point, I'm just kind of cleaning it with water and lightly brushing it, and you will see that by doing it that way, you can actually read it better. So I do that, rinse it off a little bit, and like the dirty water gets down into the inscription, it makes it easier to read. Now, if the headstone is actually clean, I'll actually mix some mason sand with water and put on the tombstone like that, kind of use a brush and lightly brush it around, and then I'll rinse off the tombstone, and the sand, the grains of sand will settle down into the inscription, and it does the same thing as you see here, cleaning it a little bit more with D2 cleaner. And now we're getting to the pictures from today. The first thing I do is measure out the size of opening I need for the base. I made this base at home out of concrete. It took a couple of days for it to set up because it's colder now. In the summertime, I'm able to move these around the very next day. When it's colder, I gotta wait a few more days for it to make sure that it's not green still and it doesn't break on me. So anyhow, I got the hole dug, kind of did a dry fit of the headstone in the slot just to see kind of what it looked like. And then you see I packed some road rock, some gravel with aggregates and fines in it. And I use that 4x4, lay it down. I use that 4x4 for a couple of things. One, to kind of like scrape the gravel to get it level like you're screeding concrete. And then that level is a post hole level. By putting it like this, I can see if it's level both directions at once. And then the last picture here is how it's kind of looking when it's set up. Now, typically I'll have a tarp or something to put the dirt on, but the ground in this area, there's a lot of little divots and holes and some different things. So the extra dirt, I've actually kind of raked it around and kind of filled in some holes around there. And this is late fall, so in the spring the grass will grow back up and fill that up, and you won't see that dirt there. And then the last picture here is how it looks once it's all set and everything. Now I do have to go back over and mix up some lime and mason sand and mortar that into the base to hold it in there. And I didn't do that today because it's, like I said, it was super windy and kind of cold. So I'll do that in a couple days. It's supposed to warm up to like 60 and not be windy. And then also it's supposed to freeze perhaps the next day or two. So I want to do that when it's going to be above freezing for maybe a week or so, just to be on the safe side. So that's an update. That's kind of a complete find it, fix it, clean it, make a base for it, set it back up, figure out where it goes video. Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching.